What's going on, guys? Teen Mechanic here. I'm finally back. I was out there for a while. I was sick, actually. I didn't want to say anything. I did upload a YouTube short about it, but I didn't really want to say anything too crazy because I didn't want to draw any attention to myself. I didn't want people to be like, "Oh God, is it COVID?" Didn't want that, so I kept it quiet. But I was sick for 5 days there. Now I'm back with something new. So you're gonna have to forgive me if there's any wind noise, but yeah. So this is a 1992 Buick Century Limited, and it's not just any Buick Century Limited. It's my Buick Century Limited. Oh, shut up. Anyway, you'll notice I'm not in any sort of typical location. I'm actually at my school because this car I bought from my principal. Yeah, you heard me right. I bought my principal's car. You know you're doing well when you bought your principal's car. Now, this car isn't anything necessarily noteworthy. You're gonna have to forgive me if there's any wind noise, but this thing here is, you know, I mean, it's been sitting actually in this spot, except parked frontwards. I'm a backwards parker, so I had to make my mark on it. But it's been parked here for about 3 years, and it hasn't really moved. Oh man! Now I bought this thing for $250. That's kind of the part I wanted to get out of the way right away. Is that, yeah, this thing I bought for 250 bucks, a Buick Century with 91,000 original kilometers on it. Now 91,000 kilometers is this amount of miles, and as you can tell, that is nothing. Now, you know, this car has been here for 3 years, and I got it cheap because it's not without its problems. This hood, for example, when I first saw it, did not pop. I had to get in here and actually pry it open because it just wouldn't budge. It was absolutely stuck. Now you can see this is a 3.3 liter, which is it's honestly, it's quite similar to the 3400 and the 3800, but it's the predecessor, I believe, to the 3.4 liter, that series, the 31 and the 3400. I'm not sure. I really don't know much about these engines aside from, you know, how they work and exactly what they look like. But, you know, I mean, these things are, they're not different. Just the displacement really is all that's different about them. But anyway, this thing apparently had a stalling issue, and it's been to many different shops, including the mechanic shop in my school, where, you know, they've thrown parts at it. They've replaced fuel injectors. I believe it was that one right there. I'm not sure which one it was actually, but it looks like that one's the cleanest. Anyway, this thing has had lots of things done to it, and still no one's been able to fix the stalling issue. So when I went to go and try and start it, the battery was dead, had less than a volt in it, which is kind of how it goes. So what I did is I went ahead and took that battery. It was out of my Oldsmobile Alero when I had it. I took it, it's been sitting in my garage for a year. I took it, I put it on a battery charger. Now it's good, but you know, that now it cranks. I also had 17 volts going through it when I tried to boost it, and it would just click. I did put it on a booster pack, and I went ring, and that was it. But at least it turned, so I knew the starter wasn't bad. But then, no matter what I did, it would just click like it was locked up. So, me and the mechanic out of my shop, we came here. I took the belt off, and I tried to spin the engine over. He said, "Well, why don't you take the belt off, make sure all the accessories are free," which was a good point, so I did. And they all were, so we knew it wasn't that. So I took the belt off, I tried to spin the engine, nothing happened. So, then I figured, well, it's got to have, you know, something else wrong with it, something hung up. So what I did, because this thing could have had fuel being, you know, it could, like, we pulled the oil dipstick, and it was full. It probably still is full and black, like, over full and black. And, you know, that made me think, okay, well, it's probably got gas seeping into the crankcase. So the mechanic in the shop said, "Yeah, well, why don't you just pull the spark plugs?" And I said, "Yeah, that's a good place to start." So I did. And these two, cylinder, I believe that's cylinder 5 and cylinder 6, were drenched in mystery liquid. And then I went to spin the engine. Sure enough, it spun just fine. Coolant came flying out of cylinder 5 and not out of cylinder 6, but it was still wet. So that's not good. Coolant, I thought, first thought was, oh, blown head gasket. Then I thought, well, actually, you know, actually it was the mechanic again in the shop that brought it up. He said, well, I knew the 3400s had the lower plenum gasket issues, but I don't know about the 3300s. And I said, oh yeah, if it's just an intake, that would be nice because it's right here. Perhaps it is, not sure. Anyway, so long story short, coolant in the cylinders, got there somehow, but anyway, I did get it to run finally. I put the spark plugs back in and started it on 5-year-old gas. Now let's see if it starts. Sure does. Actually, let me pop this hood again. This window doesn't work, so I'm not going to roll it down, but check this out. It's got a bit of a tick. It needs some oil pretty bad. There you have it. Running on old gas, got a massive exhaust leak, but hey, at least it runs. Oh man, yeah, that's a little rough. But anyway, it runs, it drives. You know how I know it drives? Because I took it for a rip. You can see here, it goes right into gear, forwards and backwards. Does that sound familiar? It's only got 91,000 kilometers. That's the part that really gets me. It's got a check engine light on and no OBD2, so that's going to be fun. It's got a strong transmission, a strong engine. Horn works.
But I have no interest.
Radio, it works very well. But yeah, this window is shot, but it's, you know, still rolls down. So anyway, let's see here. Oh, right into the sunlight. So you can see actually it's driving right now in a parking lot, and it runs well and drives well. I mean, it's actually driving well. The shocks feel good. It doesn't feel like anything's broken or clunky. The steering is really tight. This is a really good car. It feels like it's got 91,000 kilometers. Obviously, the brakes are kind of sticking, but that's okay. So yeah, this car runs and drives very well, and there's a bit of a rubbing noise coming from back there, and I believe it's the mud flap. The brakes are absolutely terrible and rock hard, and it almost sounds like it changes the idle a little bit, which would be booster. Now, like, look, if you go forward here and just in this empty parking lot, go forward and slam the brakes. Oh boy, those are rough. But yeah, runs and drives well. Map light is where. Oh wow, look at that. That is cool. That is cool. Got the rear defrost and everything. Oh, let's see if the AC works. Oh, dust. My bet is no, the AC does not work. Let's get out and see if the compressor kicked on or anything. Will it? I feel like I heard it. Or is it unplugged? Oh no. Well, it looks like it's unplugged right there. Let's see, let's find out. Let's go on this side. Now, what happens if we just go click and see what happens? Nope, it's off. Well, that's too bad, but also not unexpected. Man, that is a strong vacuum. Yeah, it runs and drives well, and it's not blowing white smoke. It's not like it's blowing white smoke. So that's a good sign at least. But it had coolant in the cylinder, so it must have. Yeah, no, it's just cool. Let's see if the heat works. Where would that be coming out from? Down here? Yep. Oh yeah, that works nice. That is nice. Okay. Let's see if it comes out from here. Oh yeah, that is nice. Okay. That is hot heat. Very nice. Defrost. Yep, defrost works and everything. Man, this car is fantastic. Now, this window works. That's nice. Let's see if any of the other ones do. Let's see. That one sort of works. That one doesn't. You can see it's open right now, but yeah, good luck getting it closed. We have fuses there. That's a weird fuse box. The trunk works. It's even got its books. Yeah, this is a good car. This is a good car. You can see they said it had a stalling issue. It really doesn't. It really doesn't have a stalling issue at all. Seems to be running exactly as it should be, actually. Yeah, like, oh man, that is good heat. All right. Yeah, no, everything works properly. I mean, there's nothing. You can see we've got the proper voltage, the temperature. It seems to be warming up well. Let's rev it up a little bit. You know, doesn't sound great. It is on 3/8 of a tank of bad gas. But yeah, it runs and drives well. I mean, this is a good car. This really is a good car. Let's see if she'll fire back up. Oh. Yep. Yeah, this is a good car. This is a good car. $250, can't go wrong. Check this out. Okay, so she has some issues shutting off, that's for sure. Anyway, figured I would show it to you. Hopefully it can join the fleet soon. I mean, I have to sell the DeVille, and I've run out of my dad's space, so it has to stay here for the time being. But check this out, too. Brand new winter tires. So this is going to be a good flip. Anyway, I'm going to stand over here in the shade and do the outro. If you enjoyed the video, which there isn't much to enjoy, but if you did, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. But let me know in the comment section below how it can improve. Let me know what you want to see. Just figured I'd show you this. This is a good car, a good flip. Hopefully it can bring in some money for some other cool stuff. Anyway, I'll catch you guys soon in the next video. Bye-bye.